Friends, if last week we shed light on the mercy of God, we find it fitting to deal with the sense of sin today. Are we still aware of the cancer called sin? What is sin? Sin, according to the Catechism, is an offense against reason, truth, and conscience, and against God. Beyond this common notion, however, we must remember that it is not only doing something wrong or making a mistake. No, it's not just that simple. Pope John Paul II even wrote in the post-synodal exhortation, Reconciliatio et Penitentiae, deep within its human reality, there are factors at work where human conscience, will, and sensitivity are in contact with the dark forces. Sin is a serious matter, my dear friends, and the sad thing is, most of the time, we ignore it. It is true that sin is a product of human freedom. That's why when temptations beset us, we wrestle whether to give in or not. And once we allow sin to get hold of us, it would always tend to reproduce itself and reinforce itself until we become its slaves, blind to the needs of others, deaf to the promptings of conscience, numb to the movements of God in our lives. It would help to always remember that sin, being a personal act, has grave consequences to oneself. It tarnishes one's relationship with God, the very foundation of life, and one's spirit, as it weakens the will and clouds the intellect. Now, the sense of sin is our awareness that we sin, that we distance ourselves from God, that we wound ourselves and those around us. According to the Blessed Pope, the sense of sin is rooted in our moral conscience and is always linked to the sense of God. And so, just like the latter, the sense of sin is never completely eliminated. But he is very much aware that there is a loss of this sense. He even quoted Pope Pius XII, lamenting, "The sin of the century is the loss of the sense of sin." Aside from a number of factors like secularism and the mass media identified in the document, I would like to stress that our being accustomed to justify our acts of sin also leads us to a loss of a sense of sin. Are we not all guilty of rationalizing our misdeeds and mischiefs? We say, after all, my colleagues do it, so it's okay if I do it too. Or, this is the way of my friends, so it would not really hurt to try it too. Or, anyway, my parents do the same, so it's fine with me. Little do we know, we already become slaves of sin, and we become callous to its effects in our lives, in our relationship with other people, in our relationship with the environment, and most of all, in our relationship with God. Brothers and sisters, do we still have a sense of sin? Or has sinfulness become an accepted lifestyle? Let us look into our hearts. God is there. Listen to Him.